Maggie just sprinted up the stairs to join us. Hi everybody, welcome back to Lady Lovestead Reads. My name is Jessica, and in today's video I'm doing the Back to the Bunker book tag. This book tag was originally created by Kit at Kit's World, and it is 9 questions. Well, technically 8 questions, and then for the 9th one you're supposed to tag others. And Kit created this because 2020 ended, 2021 rolled around. We all had very high hopes for 2021, right? And then 2021 got a little rocky. So he said maybe we should spend a little bit more time in the bunker for just a little bit longer. So the first question is, which book will keep your spirits up when world events are beating you down? And I have actually a book series for this and then a classic. So the book series that I go back to anytime the world is wild and I just need to be uplifted and read something that's life affirming and beautiful. Sorry, my hair, I feel like I've got a hair on my face. I can't find it. You know that feeling? Ha ha ha. There it is. Okay. So the book series is the Weezy Bat series by Francesca Leah Block. This is the version that I have. It's called Dangerous Angels, but it's actually all of the Weezy Bat books in one chunky book, minus the last one, which is Necklace of Kisses. So these books, I used to tell people, like, if you want to see inside my soul, read these books. They are full of magical realism, they're full of hope, they're full of life-affirming beauty, and I absolutely love them, and I go back to them fairly regularly. And maybe I need to go back and do these as part of my 3-book series book review project too. So I'm going to put these actually on my list of options for my next round of reading my 3-book series. I think this has some water damage, so I can tell that I've read this book a lot. And yeah, this is the last book in that series. The other book that I read frequently when I need to manage world events that are freaking me out or that are making me anxious or angry or whatever is a classic that nobody ever talks about, but it's one of my absolute favorite books of all time, and I wish more people talked about it. And it is Hope Leslie, or Early Times in the Massachusetts. This is an early American literature, and it has got all the tea, all the scandal. It is like an 18th century soap opera, and it's fantastic. Please, more people talk about this book, please. I might reread it this year and do a review and talk about all of the reasons why I love this book. I mean, we are talking women disguised as men, ships exploding. There is Native American history. There is upstairs, downstairs drama between the rich and the poor. Like, it's so good. It has so much in this book that I love, and I wish more people would talk about it. It's just, it's wonderful. I feel like that got a little out of hand. All right, question number 2. Which book provides useful survival tips for getting through these tough times? Now, I have actually a list here that includes both fiction and nonfiction. Most of the people who have done this tag so far have primarily included fiction, but I read everything. I'm an omnivorous reader. So for the second question about what provides useful survival tips during hard times, I'm actually going with nonfiction. And it is a book called Emotional First Aid by Guy Winch. So Guy Winch is a proponent of mental health hygiene, which proposes that your mental health should be a part of your daily routine in the same way that elements of physical hygiene are part of your daily routine. So brushing your teeth, taking a shower. Like, you need to include hygiene items for your mental health daily, and that is his platform basically. And so this book is about having a mental health first aid kit, not for big traumas, you know, that you would need to seek professional help for, or big mental illnesses that you need to seek professional help for, but just for those daily occurrences. You know, like when you get a paper cut, you open up your first aid kit and put on a band-aid. And so this is for like mental health paper cuts, like just those daily things. I guess some people could think about microaggressions as like a mental health paper cut. Just things that happen day to day that can affect our mental health, that if we don't tend to on a daily basis, can build up into something bigger. And so this is basically a first aid kit for how to deal with those daily mental paper cuts and how to treat them with your own first aid kit. And so he goes over different emotions that crop up throughout a day, like loneliness, guilt, rumination, failure, low self-esteem, and just some tips and tricks for what to put in your mental health first aid kit to manage those things on a daily basis. So it's about, one of the chapters here is, it's actually titled The Emotional Cuts and Scrapes of Daily Life. So I do recommend this as a good book to read for, what was the question? Survival tips for tough times. Question 3. Sorry, I scared my dog dropping that book. It's okay. Question 3. Which book reminds you of what it means to be a good human being? I picked a classic children's book for that, Pippi Longstocking by Astrid Lindgren. And I picked this for that question because Pippi Longstocking is such a pure person. She has such a kind and welcoming and warm heart. Pippi Longstocking teaches us what it means to truly accept people for who they are and to love them wherever they are in their journey. And I think she has lessons that everybody, no matter your age, can learn. Question number 4. Which book shows you how things could be if done right? Now, I don't own a copy of these books, but I am planning to reread them this year, and that is the Little House on the Prairie series by Laura Ingalls Wilder. When I think of a world done right, I think of a world that uses our natural resources in a more effective way, a world that lives a little more slowly. And I'm not saying that it's a world without technology. I think that we need technology. Like, I want to see a world that continues to have things like the internet, but I'd also like to see a world where we are utilizing our natural resources better, where there's more economic equality, where there's a little bit more of a slower pace and less of that frantic, rushed capitalist state. And so in the Little House on the Prairie books, I like how those illustrate that slower, back to nature kind of life. And I live in the prairie. I live in Iowa, which is prairie land. And so it shows me how things could be truly in my own state. Question 5. Which book has the happiest ending you can think of? Now, I also don't have a copy of this book, but it is How the Grinch Stole Christmas by Dr. Seuss. I think the end of that story is just perfect, where the Grinch's heart grows 3 sizes and he learns how to navigate social life. He learns to appreciate the smaller things in life, and he lets go of some of the resentment and pain that has been holding him back from living his life to the fullest. So I think that that is one of the most spectacular endings to any story out there. Question 6. Which book celebrates humanity in the most beautiful or enlightening way? And for this, again, I don't have a copy of it, but for this, I actually chose a work of poetry called Leaves of Grass by Walt Whitman. And Whitman just has this beautiful way of connecting nature and humanity and the struggles of humanity with the triumphs of humanity into this beautiful mixture that celebrates the triumphs within the struggles without necessarily invalidating or negating those struggles, and making sure that the world's place in terms of nature and cycles of life are all interwoven into the poems as well. I think that his work is beautiful, and I gravitate towards poetry that has more of those nature-based themes, but I love the way that Walt Whitman also celebrates humanity within that framework. Question 7. Which book is a shining light in the darkness? For this, I chose Man's Search of Meaning, or Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. Look, even the cover has a light in the darkness. So this is another work of nonfiction. This is sort of a memoir, and it's sort of a psychological text. So Viktor Frankl was a victim in the Holocaust. He worked as a doctor before being sent to a concentration camp, and he worked as a doctor in the concentration camp. And while he was in the concentration camp, he was able to still find meaning in his life and still find ways to feel purposeful. And it's such a powerful text on how no matter what your circumstances are, you can still find meaning in your life. You can still find a purpose for you, so that there's still things that you can contribute to the world, no matter what circumstance you're in. Like, he was in one of the worst human circumstances in all time, but he was still able to find ways he felt like he was contributing to the good of the world. And that could not be more of a shining light in the darkness. Number 8, which book would you have everybody read? Now, I have a copy of this book, but I can't find it. And it's driving me nuts. I know it's here somewhere, but that book is The Upside of Stress by Kelly McGonigal. So this book is about mindset intervention, specifically around stress. And Kelly McGonigal is a health psychologist who does a lot of research on these simple strategies called mindset interventions, where just the simple shift of perspective can have a huge ripple effect in your life. Even if you're not acting on it, it still has that subconscious ripple effect. And so in her book, she goes over this concept, specifically how it relates to stress. But what I like about that book is the way she provides some simple tools that you can use to make life-changing perspective shifts, and how these concepts can be applied to other types of mindsets, not just necessarily around stress, but you could really look at any kind of mindset you have in your life and use these tools that she provides to shift that mindset in a way that's going to make your life more fulfilling, more positive, more productive, whatever it is that you want it to be. So in the vein of, tips for hard times and strategies for difficult situations, I think that is a book that everyone could really benefit from reading. Okay, the 9th one is to tag people who survived 2020, and I am tagging all of you because we have survived 2020 and we are going to keep moving forward together. So that's it for today's video. In the meantime, make sure that you continue to read good books, drink good coffee, take care of yourselves and each other. Bye.